say vampires feel nothing. No grief, no rage, no love. They're wrong. He felt everything when she betrayed him. Sorin was the first, the one born in silence, forged in shadows, and buried by the woman he trusted most. She drank his blood to crown herself queen, then sealed his body beneath stone and time. But blood remembers, and tonight it called him back. He doesn't seek revenge. He seeks the truth inside her veins. And when he drinks her blood, the world will finally remember who the real monster is. They called her Velaria the Beautiful, Velaria the Eternal, Velaria, Queen of Crimson Night. But Sorin, he never called her that. To him, she was just Velaria, the woman who once kissed his throat with the same mouth she would later curse him with. He gave her everything, his secrets, his blood, his immortality. And in return, she gave him a coffin, not one carved with flowers or adorned with gold, no. Stone, cold and old as the mountains, buried so deep even the earth forgot he was there. She wanted to erase him, not kill him. She couldn't. Even she wasn't that powerful. But silence can be louder than death, and centuries of silence can turn love into something else, something hungrier. He dreamed while he slept, dreamed of her laughter, her lies, her hands still warm with his blood as she crowned herself queen. The first thing he feels is the cold, but not the kind that bites. The kind that remembers. It clings to his skin like regret. It fills his lungs like silence. Above him, stone. Around him, soil that's forgotten the sun. Time doesn't pass here. It waits. And tonight, it waits no longer. His fingers twitch. Bones crack like ancient ice beneath shifting flesh. And the earth shudders just once, like it's afraid of what it buried. Then his eyes open, not with rage, not with hunger, but with a calm older than death itself. He doesn't gasp. He doesn't scream. He remembers every second of betrayal, every whispered lie. Valeria's kiss, Valeria's teeth, Valeria's crown made of stolen blood. The tomb splits. Dust lifts into the air like smoke from a long dead fire. He sits up slowly, every movement deliberate, controlled. The world above has changed, but he hasn't. Not really, not where it matters. His heart beats once, a single hollow drum beneath his ribs, just enough to remind him he's not a ghost. Not yet. He steps barefoot onto the cold stone floor. The shadows don't move away from him, they move with him. The forest outside is silent, the kind of silence that trembles before a storm. Birds won't sing, wolves won't howl. Even the wind holds its breath, because something old has awakened. Something that remembers the world before names had power. He walks through trees like a shadow returning home, and with each step memory burns brighter. He remembers how she looked at him that night, eyes full of love and ambition. He remembers the way her hands shook, not from fear, but from wanting it too much. She didn't bury him out of hate. She buried him because she couldn't bear to share the throne, and now she thinks he's gone. But Sorin is not a nightmare. He is the thing nightmares fear. He doesn't rush, he doesn't thirst, because this isn't revenge, this is restoration. The forest parts for him. A black river reflects his hollow face. He sees what time has done. The world is glass now. Thin, loud, shiny, but weak. Velaria sits in her glass tower, worshipped, protected, alone. She thinks the world belongs to her. She thinks he's just a memory, a ghost beneath stone. She has no idea that stone bleeds. Sorin places a hand against the bark of a dead tree. Its leaves return for a moment, then fall in silence. He walks on toward the city. Toward her. Toward the throne made of lies, and the queen who still carries his blood. He will find her, not to ask, not to beg, but to look into her eyes one final time and take back what she never earned. Even if it means draining her down to silence. The city didn't know it was built on a lie. It didn't know its queen was a thief, or that the blood in its soil wasn't hers to spill. But Sorin knew. He could feel it pulsing through the concrete. Whispers of his power stitched into every stone. Her scent was everywhere. Perfume layered over rot, silk draped over bone. And the people, they bowed to her, worshipped her like she was eternal, as if she hadn't stolen eternity from him. He watched from the edge of the skyline, a shadow with eyes that had seen kingdoms fall. He watched as they cheered her name, unaware that the woman they praised once knelt at his feet. Velaria, she had taken his blood and built a world without him, but it was fragile. He could smell it, how thin it all was beneath the glass and gold, like a painting hiding a corpse. They feared nothing now. No gods, no monsters, no history. She made them forget. But Sorin never forgot. Not the night she drank from him. Not the tremble in her voice when she said, "This is for both of us." And not the way she smiled as the tomb closed around him. He walks now unnoticed, a man out of time, his cloak dusted with grave soil, his silence louder than sirens. The world moves fast cars, lights, voices, but he moves slower than memory, and twice as deep. He watches a child laugh, watches two lovers kiss beneath the glow of her tower, and he wonders, would they cheer her name if they knew what price was paid to give her power? Would they still love their queen if they saw the body she buried to become one? He doubts it. Velaria lives in luxury now. Her castle is polished chrome. Her walls are built from adoration and deception. But Sorin knows the truth. She doesn't rule this world, she hides from it. Because somewhere inside her she knows he's coming. Not as a prince, not as a god, but as the silence after the storm. He walks through the gates. No guards stop him. They don't see him, not truly. He is a wound the world forgot to close, and tonight he opens. Inside the palace, her blood calls to him. Each heartbeat louder than the last, closer, warmer, older. He doesn't want to kill her. That would be too small, too merciful. He wants her to feel it, to remember what she stole, to taste her own fear as he once tasted his betrayal. He steps into the light of her hall. Her scent is pure now, refined, controlled, but underneath his blood still burns. He will drink it back, not to survive, not to become something more, but to erase the world she built without him, and let the night remember its first king. The palace is quiet, not empty, just obedient. Every step Sorin takes is swallowed by silence. No alarms, no whispers. Even the walls seem to hold their breath. This place, this monument to her glory, was built with stolen blood. His blood, and yet it is beautiful, cold, flawless, like her. The floors reflect him, but his reflection is strange, older, sharper, eyes like deep wounds that never closed. He moves through corridors gilded in gold, lit by chandeliers that never flicker, but he knows what hides beneath the surface, the rot, the hunger, the truth. Velaria didn't build a kingdom. She built a lie, and crowned herself queen of it. He touches the wall, and beneath the marble he feels the heartbeat of the throne. His blood still flows through it, carried through the pipes like sacred wine, used to power her rituals, her rule, her immortality. And suddenly he's not calm anymore. He is fire. Not the kind that burns, the kind that consumes slowly, the kind that spreads without sound, without smoke, without mercy. He enters the great hall. Her throne stands at the center, a towering sculpture of obsidian and bone. Beautiful, terrifying, perfect for her, but it's wrong. Every inch of it, because it wasn't meant for her. It was meant for him. She knew that. She always knew. He walks toward it, one step, then another. And the closer he gets, the more he hears it. Not her voice, not her footsteps, but his blood calling to him, begging to come home. He places a hand on the arm of the throne and everything stops. The lights dim, the air thickens. And for a moment the palace remembers who he is. Not a man, not even a vampire, but the first. The reason any of them exist, the origin of the night. The mistake that can't be undone. Behind him, footsteps. Light.
Slow.
Familiar. He doesn't turn, he already knows. Velaria. Her scent hits him like a knife wrapped in velvet. Soft, deadly, unchanged. She stands behind him now. So close, too close. And when she speaks, her voice is exactly as he remembers. I wondered when you'd come back. He still doesn't look at her. Not yet, because if he does, he might remember the part of him that once loved her. And tonight there is no room for love. Only blood, only silence. Only the truth that she buried with him long ago. He speaks, his voice cold as stone. I never left. You just forgot to look beneath your throne. She exhales. Not in fear, but in anticipation, because she knows what's coming. And still, she doesn't run, of course not. Velaria never ran. She smiled. She seduced. She survived. But tonight there is nowhere left to run. Sorin turns to face her, and at last, their eyes meet. Her eyes haven't changed. That's the first thing he notices. Same fire, same frost, same lie beneath the beauty. She stands tall, wrapped in shadowed silk, crown tilted like a halo made of knives, but Sorin doesn't flinch. He's seen the truth beneath the crown. He wore it first. Velaria doesn't speak. Not yet. She studies him like she's looking at a ghost she buried too deep to ever expect again. "You've changed," she finally says. Sorin smiles. "Just a little." "You haven't." That wounds her more than it should. She hides it behind a smirk, but he sees the crack in her mask. He always could. "I thought you'd kill me the moment you saw me," she says, voice like silk sliding across steel. "I still might." His tone is colder than the stones beneath their feet. She walks closer. Each step echoes through the hall like the ticking of a clock running out. "You don't know what I've done to keep this world safe." "You mean what you've done to keep yourself on the throne?" She doesn't argue. That silence says everything. He circles her slowly, like a predator studying prey that once fed from his hand. "You could have shared it, Velaria. The power. The future. You didn't have to betray me." She turns to face him. "I didn't do it because I had to. I did it because the world feared you, but they loved me." That truth cuts deeper than any blade. She chose the lie over him. The love of mortals over the loyalty of eternity. "So you drained me, buried me, and wore my blood like a crown. I built something beautiful from your ruin," she says softly. "I made the pain mean something." Sorin's voice lowers, heavy with centuries of silence. "You didn't make the pain mean anything. You just made sure you weren't the one feeling it." She looks at him now, truly looks, and for a second, just a flicker. He sees regret in her eyes, but it's too late. 1,000 lifetimes too late. He steps closer, close enough to feel her breath. Close enough to remember what they once were before the crown, before the betrayal, before the blood. "Do you still dream of me?" he asks. She doesn't answer, but she doesn't look away. He lifts her hand, gently, slowly, almost lovingly, and presses it to his chest. "Feel it. I'm not a ghost. I came back." "For what you took." Her voice breaks when she speaks. "Then take it." He leans in, lips near hers, but not for love. Not for closure. For hunger. And with that final breath between them, he whispers, "This is your last kiss, Velaria." Then he sinks his fangs into the queen's throat. Her blood tastes like fire and frost, like ancient winters, like a betrayal wrapped in perfume. And for the first time in centuries, Sorin feels everything. He doesn't drink to kill. Not yet. He drinks to know. To remember what she stole, to see what she saw. Velaria gasps, not in fear but in surrender, because she knows that there's no hiding now. Her blood opens like a door, and Sorin walks through. He sees the night she betrayed him, not from his own eyes, but from hers. She stood over his body, hands trembling, fangs stained red, his blood pooling beneath her feet, warm and final. He wasn't supposed to wake again. Not ever. She kissed his forehead, then whispered, "I'm sorry, but I will be more than you ever could." He sees the coronation, the moment she claimed the throne with a crown made of bone and silver. The people cheered, not knowing it was his blood that gave her the power to rule, not knowing he was still breathing beneath the palace, screaming silently in stone. He sees her regrets, yes, even those. The nights she sat alone, staring at the throne, whispering his name when no one was listening. "Sorin, if you only knew." But she never stopped. Never turned back, because Velaria wasn't built to kneel. And then, he sees the truth. The real reason she drank his blood. It wasn't just power, or fear, or ambition. It was something older, something darker, a shadow wrapped in prophecy. She saw what he couldn't, a vision buried in bloodlines, a fate he was never meant to escape. If he lived, the world would burn, not because he was evil, but because he was too pure a creature of the night, a perfect predator, one the world would never survive. She loved him, truly, but she feared what he would become, so she struck first. And that's what shatters him, not the betrayal, not the lies, but the love twisted by fear. Sorin pulls away from her neck, blood on his lips and a storm in his heart. Velaria falls to her knees, weak but not dead. She looks up at him, eyes glassy, voice trembling. "You saw it, didn't you?" He doesn't answer, because yes, he saw it, and now he understands. But understanding doesn't mean forgiveness. He wipes her blood from his mouth. "You buried me to save them, but you never asked if I wanted to be saved." "You would have become something else," she whispers. "I already have." His voice is different now, lower, fuller. Something inside him has changed. Her blood didn't just reveal the truth, it unlocked something. Ancient, unnatural, unstoppable. He turns away, walking toward the throne. The shadows bend around him, the palace hums, as if the walls remember who they were built for. Velaria, barely able to speak, gasps. "What are you now?" He stops. "The end of what you tried to control." The throne stands before him untouched. Velaria never sat in it, not really. She ruled from behind shadows and glass, afraid the stone would remember who it truly belonged to. Now the shadows lean toward him, welcoming him back. Not with joy, but with recognition. Sorin places one hand on the cold stone. It hums beneath his palm. Old magic. Old blood. His blood. The transformation begins not in muscle or fang, but in silence. The kind of silence that makes the walls ache. The kind that births gods or monsters. He doesn't roar, he doesn't scream. He simply breathes and the air grows still, like the world is holding its breath. Behind him, Velaria remains slumped, watching him through fading eyes. Not with hatred, but awe and terror. "You don't feel like Sorin anymore," she whispers. He turns, slowly. "That's because I'm not." His voice carries something new now, not louder, just heavier. Like every word was carved in stone long before he was born. The memories he stole from her still swirl in his mind, but something else came with them. A presence. A calling. Not of this world, not even of the blood. In the deepest part of Valeria's blood, something had been sealed away. A truth so dangerous she buried it where no one could reach. But Sorin drank it, and now it knows him. Now it awakens in him. He sees visions, cities buried in ash, wings made of bone. A throne not built from stone, but from screams. The first vampire was never meant to survive. He was meant to evolve. "This isn't just about vengeance," he says almost to himself. It never was. Velaria tries to speak, but he silences her with a glance. There's no more blame to pass. No more apologies to give. The past is buried beneath them and something new is crawling out of the grave. "I don't want the crown," Sorin says. "I want the silence that comes after the world stops speaking." Velaria looks up, trembling. "What? What will you do now?" He steps toward her, then kneels not in submission but in something darker. "I will become what they feared I'd become. And when they whisper my name in fear, they'll be speaking truth, not legend." He brushes his thumb gently across her lips' own final mercy. "One final goodbye, Sleep Queen. Your time is done." And as he stands, the sky above the palace cracks with thunder. Not storm, not weather. Something else is coming, and it wears Sorin's face. And so the first vampire walked out of the shadows, not as a king, not as a monster, but as something the world had never seen and would never forget. Sorin doesn't seek war. He doesn't seek peace. He seeks silence, and those who break it will beg for the darkness to take them back. Because when legends awaken, the world bleeds remembering why it buried them. This is only the beginning.